Hello, I'm Darren Curnoe, and our special guest today is the father of evolution, Charles Darwin. Welcome, Charles.
Delighted to be here, my boy.
Charles, you're the author of one of the most controversial books in science. In fact, one of the most controversial books in history.
The formation of vegetable mould due to the actions of worms. Yes, that really got things stirred up at the Royal Society.
No, I mean the origin of species.
Yes, I'm joking. It's always origin of species. Nobody ever wants to talk about my worms.
It's understandable. I mean, you're, of course, absolutely the expert. You did study them for 40 years, but I'd like to talk
It's almost
today.
as if there's some sort of force at work whereby one book, by being more successful than the other, drives the other one to extinction.
Oh, you mean like natural selection, the idea that's at the core of your book, The Origin of Species.
Oh, yes. I thought that rang a bell.
Which in a nutshell states that those individuals who are better adapted to their environment have a higher chance of surviving and leaving more offspring.
Exactly. Now, take the peppered moth. In Britain, we have light ones and dark ones. But in my day, there was so much filth in the air, the light moths stood out, making them easy pickings for the birds. And they started to die out.
So the dark ones were more successful.
Camouflage, you see. Very crafty.
You might not know this, but the Clean Air Act of 1956 reversed all of this. The light moths began to blend in and the dark ones stood out, so they became rarer, which totally validates your theory.
Yes, I saw that on Attenborough.
Oh, right. So evolution through natural selection is widely accepted today, of course, but in its day it was a pretty radical idea, wasn't it?
I'll say. We'd spent the past 1,000 years thinking man was the centre of a fixed, unchanging universe.
Whereas you argued that all life had a single common origin and branched into a myriad of forms which are still evolving today.
Didn't go down too well with certain elements of the establishment, us being on equal footing with the worms. Not that worms have feet. In fact, what they actually have is this extraordinary array of...
That's all we have time for today.
Ah, what a shame. I was just getting warmed up.
You know, it's a good thing that On the Origin of Species was your most successful book.
How so?
Well, it would be ironic if the book that gave us natural selection was itself selected out of existence.
Then we'd be sitting here talking about my worms.
And that would be fascinating, of course.
I'm on Jimmy Fallon next week. Think I'll give it a go.
Charles Darwin, thank you.
Cheerio!